And thank you for being here. One thing I will say, thank you for joining the info session. A lot of times I might get calls about certain grants that are available, and it's difficult for me to answer because when I'm in grant writing mode, my phone is in another room. So if you're wanting to pick my brain about what grants are out there, this is the best time. So after the presentation, do feel free to ask questions. But Trusty, I'll hand it over to you just to get us started.
Thank you so much, Ryan. First of all, everyone, welcome to Grant Info session today, where we'll be covering up the grants. Before starting, let's get over some Zoom etiquettes. Change your name, raise your hand, turn on your camera, be respectful, mute your mic, and use the chat box. There is no wrong or right questions. Empowered would like to acknowledge the lens we are working on. So we will like to take a minute to read this slide. A little bit about Empowered Forex is a business consulting firm. We support all entrepreneurs by providing co-working and business service membership, as well as training and consulting. We can help you with the business planning, operational, financial projections, bookkeeping, grant writing, and marketing strategies. We have various offering depends on where you are in your journey from ideation to scaling up. Next slide. We offer many training programs that can help level up your business. We have Social Enterprise Challenge that might be coming next year, and we will send you an email for that. We have Social Enterprise Certification Program. We have Mental Health Center Certification, Mental Health Supporting Youth Certification, and Grant Hunter University. We offer many different services for startups to establish their business. We have virtual offices in 3 locations: Brampton, Scarborough, Ottawa. We have consulting services, marketing, grant writing, technology, management, business plans, and BizGram promotional live shows will be starting from January. You can reach out to us via email. I'll share the email in the chat box. We have upcoming events. We have the info sessions which are coming, and we have the grant writing, I think. So we have the session today. So you can visit our website and you can get an information from there. We have the monthly networking Jelly social events. We have DIY to modify CV, sales, marketing, growth, and strategies. And yeah, next slide. Our grant writing service will help you from doing it yourself to have others do for you along your journey. So you can reach out to us for that via email. As I mentioned, I'll share the email. And about like grant writing service, it's like we do a free sessions, funding summaries, blueprints, review, paid sessions, writing groups, and we can modify, we can find a grant writer and we do it for you. And today's agenda is to meet the facilitator, overview of the grant, and how we can help you in your journey. And I would like to introduce Ryan, the facilitator for the session. He's a serial social entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur of Detailing Nights, Service Kingdom, Executive Power Up, Black Panthers Cage, co-founder of Afro-Caribbean Business Network, and he's a crew member of Empowered for X, and currently helping businesses to increase their capacity and create an asset to grow generational wealth. and he's also helping with grants. Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much, Tristy. And a pleasure, as always, to be doing our info session. So we do this once a month. So if you know others that are looking for grants and are having difficult time finding funding, definitely point them to our website, the same one that you registered with, to let them know they could register for the next one. And a bit about myself, as I mentioned, I do run a few social enterprises, but I'm also the co-founder of the Afro Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And over the past 6 years, we've been able to engage with over 5,000 Black entrepreneurs. We are seeing a large percentage of them are female entrepreneurs, actually over 70%. And in our database, about 90% are the business owners or the founders and the current CEOs. But what we're most proud of is being able to partner with over 40 other Black focused business organizations. 6 years ago, when I was running Detailing Nights and looking to franchise, there weren't any Black focused business organizations in Brampton or in Peel, and not a lot that had the mandate of scaling up companies. So that's why we had created the ACBN, the Afro Caribbean Business Network. And now, being part of the Black entrepreneurship ecosystem, we've been able to connect with over 40 across Canada. So no matter what stage your business is in or geographically where you are in Canada, we're able to point you and connect you to the right supports. A bit about the pillars that we definitely stand on. Of course, entrepreneurship is the North Star. We typically, well, I feel that the entrepreneurship as a tool is one of the best tools that we have to build generational wealth. And even research shows it's 12 times easier to pull a person out of poverty by using entrepreneurship instead of only looking for employment. But now, entrepreneurship being able to empower the community, really create economic empowerment, and convening with sessions like this. We do in-person networking now, and we also are going to be planning our ACBN Legacy Symposium for March. So definitely mark your calendars. That'll be March 2nd. And we are going to be talking about building generational wealth together. So if you're available Saturday, March the 2nd, definitely circle it and we'll get you an invite. But the reason that we're here is that access to funding. And for ACBN, we've been able to create our own microloan program so we can loan up to $10,000 to entrepreneurs. And also now we can plug you into other funding opportunities, whether it's the Black Entrepreneur Loans at the banks or the FACE Coalition, Black Opportunity Fund. We'll touch on those after, but really lean on us to make sure that you understand which funding opportunities are out there, and so that we can connect you to the right one that fits your current situation. So we always like to say thank you to our valued partners, ranging from Alterna Savings, who is the ones that we partnered with to do the microloan program, SETC, which stands for the Social Economy Through Social Inclusion, being able to connect us to the social finance conversations that are happening at government levels, Sheridan and their EDGE program, which stands for the Entrepreneurship Discovery and Growth Engine, being able to connect the community with Sheridan College and their EDGE program. So definitely touch base with us if you're looking for additional resources, more so with operations of your business. And Calabash, that is a cooperative of expert service providers. So if you get a grant and you need to spend that money on consultants or different supports, being able to circulate that dollar in the Black community is really important. And ZSC, which is our business advisory partners. So when you fill out our business assessment, you typically get a call from one of our advisors, and ZSC is one of our partners that helps facilitate that. Dream Legacy Foundation. So if you are a tech founder, definitely connect with Dream Legacy or DLF, because they're connected with the DMZ and they have a Black fellowship, a Black Innovation Fellowship that allows you to work on your business idea, start that MVP, and get connected into funding that they've created called BKR Capital. One Full Circle, which is like our mirror organization in Quebec. So we work really closely with Pharaoh and his team there to really get our supports to people in Quebec, mainly Montreal, and vice versa. For his network that's here in Ontario, we're able to support them. And a big shout out to the Toronto Community Benefits Network, Rosemary Powell there, that's been a supporter of ACBN and Detailing Nights and everything that we've been doing really from the start. So always want to say a special thank you to their team. One thing that we like to show is the slide of different funding that we've been able to get. And you'll notice that it ranges from as low as $500 all the way up to over $1 million. It's different types of sources, whether it's pitch competitions, city grants, provincial grants, federal grants, donations and sponsorship from corporations. We really like to show the breadth and type of funding that's out there. And a big thing is being very consistent, persistent and consistent, because I don't consider myself an academic grant writer, but I do consider myself a grant hunter. So looking at any and all grants that we qualify for and making sure that we put in our application. And I'll talk to entrepreneurs and even organizational leaders, and they might write a grant or hear about funding and not really know how to navigate it, or get frustrated that they did put in an application and they were declined. You really have to keep persistent because granting is very competitive. A lot of times, especially for for-profit companies, when a grant comes out that is for-profit, there's going to be a lot of competition. And for example, the American Express Blueprint grant, which you can get $10,000, is due today. And I believe they're selecting 50 applications to give 10,000, and they already have over 700 applications. So this is where you might not get it the first time, even the second time, but being very consistent and not only applying for one type of grant, applying for all types of funding that can support your business is really important. And that's why I really enjoy not just getting grants for ourselves, but helping others, whether it's nonprofits like Rescue Youth International or New Life Project, identify grants that they could qualify for and helping them through the process. And even for-profit companies like Custodia realize that they have a social enterprise because they're impacting the community in a positive way. And again, helping them get access to grants that they didn't think that they qualified for. So today we're going to touch on a few of the grants. Oh, sorry. One thing that I do like to mention, when going after grants, a lot of times you don't qualify on your own, and that might be because the grant is specific for or nonprofit, or it could be that your organization or business isn't, I'll say, seasoned enough, or doesn't have the years of experience that the grant is looking for. So ACBN, we've actually played the role of trustee for other grants. So for a church that didn't have the right criteria to apply, we were able to apply on their behalf and trustee that grant. Or when we're writing grants, we like to write in other organizations. So similar to the Youth Village, when we were able to get a grant, we were able to write them in so that they can handle the element of the youth intergenerational mentorship. So there's a lot of creative ways to get funding. So definitely touch base with us if there's types of funding that you're looking at and you'd like to brainstorm on creative ways to approach it. All right, two things that we typically help entrepreneurs with are, one, the business plan. So we do work around creating a business plan blueprint, and we also do work around specifically grant writing and helping people create that grant writing blueprint. And the blueprint is really a document that has majority of the questions that you're going to experience while going after grants already answered. So I remember when I was running Detailing Nights and we started our youth program and realizing like, oh, we should get funding for this, and being told by others like, hey, you should get funding for your youth program. But every time we would apply, we would get declined. And then finally we applied again, and this was through the Youth Opportunities Fund, where we partnered with another nonprofit and we brought on a grant writer to help us really fine tune it. That's when we were successful. And then after we were successful, that grant became our blueprint. Like everything afterwards that we applied for, we were able to use that as the baseline for what we're doing. So you can actually do that from the beginning by working with our team. You're able to now get this blueprint done. And now every time you find a grant, it becomes a lot easier to write that grant because you have 80% of the questions already answered. And now you can customize it to what the funder is looking for. So if you are interested in getting that done, definitely touch base with us after this session. A tool that is always great to start with is the Business Benefits Finder tool. So this link, and I'll actually, let's see if I can open this up. And it might be pointing to the wrong link. I think sometimes I have to search for it. Let's see if it comes up. And I'll put this into the chat so you can follow along as well. Let's see. Uh-oh, computer's going slow today. I hope it doesn't do that for all the links that I'm going through. Yeah, I'm seeing it's giving an error. So let me see. So should be this one. Let me see. It comes up. Oh, I think I was supposed to click that other one. This section's more so like the overview of it, but I want to get you the link directly to the tool, which is this one. All right. And as this is loading, I'll grab the link so that I can put it into the chat for you as well. All right. So really what this tool does is it allows you to answer questions about your business. So as we go through, I can give you an example. So it's really like fill in the blank, let them know how much you are looking for, if you're looking to grow the business, and then letting them know which province you're in. Let's see, this industry, and you can narrow it down, number of employees. Yes. You can also put the revenue range, if you're incorporated or not incorporated, and if you're for-profit or nonprofit, and then the makeup of your team. So you can put this in. All right. And typically I like to click on show all programs. If you only want to see the ones that are open right now that are accepting, you can click on only programs accepting. But I find it's always good to just see everything that's available because grants typically go in cycles. So it might not be open right now, but it's going to open up later in the year. And typically it's usually after March. So the fiscal year end for government entities is the end of March. So April and May, you'll see programs renewed. So as you're looking through, you'll see there's always a section for different grants and funding. And oh, that's interesting. What is this? Money for automotive and mobility sector, student education. I'm gonna have to check out what that is later. So they have different programs for nonprofits, grants for economic development. Usually if they're through these economic developments like FedDev, those are typically for nonprofits that support businesses. So, but still, I would check them out. They sometimes have things directly for-profit businesses. And those ones typically are higher dollar amounts, like 100,000 and up to $1 million. So you do have to be somewhat established to get FedDev money, but it is possible. So you see, yeah, a lot of times it's a lot of support with hiring, so different subsidies that you can find. And anything else? Let's see, direct foreign investment. The Canada Export Grant is one that is really good if you're looking to expand and sell your products in other countries. It's done through the Trade Commissioner Service, and they just they relaunched the funding. Like I said, it goes in cycles. So they're always accepting applications, but they accept applications until the money is done, and then it gets renewed. So I did see an email saying that international can export grant got renewed. So if you're interested in selling your products outside of Canada, definitely, actually, let me see if it has its link here. I can put this link in the chat for you. Visit the program. Yes. And if you're not thinking about expanding outside of Canada, I would encourage you to start thinking about it, because they have a lot of ways to support that type of initiative, and it opens you up to additional markets that you can sell your business. So this one might not be the exact one that you want, but it is part of Can Export. So let me see if I can find the correct one. Because I think the link that I just put in, that's more so if you want foreign investors to purchase your product. But then this one here, no, not the innovation. I think it's this one, Can Export. Yes, to break into new international markets. So this one, oh, why did it say it's not accepting? I just got an email saying that they are accepting. They might not have updated their website. So if you're interested in this one, check out the link, and then I will send me an email. I'll put this into the chat just so you have it. Send me an email if you're interested in this one, because I just got their email saying that it's renewed. So I'll send you that email so you can respond to them. All right. So as we continue on, and if there's a specific grant I'm talking about and you have a question about that, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, if you put it in the chat, then I'll get to it after we finish. But one grant that I did want to touch on, and this should say Summer Company. So Summer Company is a grant that is going to be opening up soon, and it's for youth under 30 that are in school and have summer break, where they can get up to $3,000 to support their business, like getting started in a business. And a lot of times I find that our youth miss this grant, one, because they didn't know, and two, we're not encouraging enough of them to start businesses. So if you have a youngster that has an idea for a business while they're on summer break, they can actually get the Summer Company grant and be able to get up to $3,000 to support their business idea. And again, test out if entrepreneurship is for them. The other one for those 18 plus is the Starter Company grant. So currently, I know Toronto has their Starter Company grant open, and they're doing a female founders round. So if you are a female and have a business in Toronto, you're able to get $5,000 to help boost up your business. And I'll open up the Black Opportunity Fund one. So the Black Opportunity Fund, they partnered with CIBC, because CIBC created a loan program that you can get up to $250,000 for your business. And part of it, for those that weren't quite ready to get the business plan or weren't quite ready to submit and get a loan, they partnered with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce to create a grant program. So you're able to get up to $2,000 as a grant as you're working on, fine-tuning your business plan and completing your cash flow projections. And they also can help you with improving financial literacy and improving your credit score. So we do find that a lot of the loan programs, the minimum cutoff for your credit score is usually about 600 at the lowest. Sometimes it's 620. Some of them we've seen around 650. So if you're not at those credit score requirements just yet, you can go through a program with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce and get a grant while you're going through the program. So any of these programs that they have, you're able to get up to $2,000 upon completion, and then you can go after bigger funding as well. So now, if you didn't want to go after the loan, you can just go directly through to the Black Chamber of Commerce and go through their granting program. So this link here the Elevate Black Business. And it says I can't access, but let me see if I can click around that. Hold on. So at the bottom, if you click on apply, this should take you to the Black Chamber website. And then while you're on the Black Chamber website, you can find the Elevate. So each program is here individually. So you can pick which one you want to go through, and then you'd be able to apply for their grants. So I'll put this link into the chat so you can check it out. And typically we send the slide deck afterwards. So if you're not able to capture the links in the chat, we are going to send this so you'll be able to have it in your email. Another grant that I wanted to touch on is the Digital Main Street grant. And there have been a few updates with the programs that they deliver. So when you come to this website, and I'll put this into the chat as well, you'll see the available programs. They have a drop down at the top. So if you're in Ontario, you'll notice they have the Canada Digital Adoption Program, which is a program that you'll be able to get up to $2,400 to support with a boost. Actually, if I click on it, I think it'll give the breakdown. Yes, so this one is specific to adopting e-commerce support. So either digital marketing, it can be like POS systems. So that's like physical POS systems or online payment portals. And also if you need to hire somebody to come in and help with your digital marketing strategy, you're able to go through the Canada Digital Adoption Program. The other one they had was the Ontario grants. I don't believe this one is open right now. Let's see if it is. So what they do, and it looks like it's open. So the Digital Transformation Grant, again, you can get up to $2,500, but this helps you create a digital transformation program or a plan. So the plan revolves around online marketing and different tactics to improve like your online brand awareness and brand presence. And then once you create that plan for yourself, you then get the $2,500 to execute the plan. And the third one is called Shop Here. So Shop Here is a program that allows you to connect with an expert service provider that will build you an e-commerce store for free. So if you already have a website and you want to sell on that website, they'll help you build out the e-commerce capabilities. If you don't have a website, this will help you like build a website, and you can also sell through it. They typically build it on Shopify. I think they use Square as well and a couple others, but you pick which platform you want to get it built on. And also, I'll say, even if you have a website and you're already selling online, you can still go through the program to get support, and they will like improve what you currently have. So if you want to get maybe a better design or increase the functionality of maybe plugins that you want to get into your Shopify store, I would definitely still sign up so that you can get that support and really improve your website. All right. Oh, let me go back to. So the next one I'm going to touch on is the BBPA BATES program. And if you've seen, I covered the BBPA BATES program in a YouTube video. So if you want a direct overview of just this grant, definitely go check out our YouTube. I think if you just research Ryan O'Neal Knight, it'll come up. Or if you search grants you should know, BATES should come up. So the BATES program is a way for you as an entrepreneur to get services done for your business without having to come out of pocket. So the BATES program, you can get business plan help, bookkeeping and accounting support, legal help, and you get partnered with an expert service provider that will do the business plan for you, and then they invoice the BBPA. So you don't have to come out of pocket to be able to get these services done. The one drawback is it is oversubscribed. So definitely sign up. The application is pretty straightforward. Get into the queue and then just follow up with the BBPA and say, hey, I'm in the queue. I'm curious an update on what status where my application status is. And just make sure to be persistent and they will get you through. We're seeing that they're getting entrepreneurs through and they're getting services. So do not give up on this one if you're seeing that it's taking a bit of time. So beyond the Bades one, so Desjardins, we did want to actually change this one to the American Express because Desjardins did finish. Let me see if I can pull up the blueprint one. And I know it is tight, as I'm about to say, it's due tonight. So if you have not started this grant, I would encourage you to get it started. Where is the could be it? No, this one. Let's see if this comes up properly. Oh, these are images. Sorry, one sec. See if this will be a roundabout way to get to these people. No, not that. Amex blueprint. Not found. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, here we go. So I'll put this link into the chat as well. The application shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. I'll say max an hour. But if you do feel that you get stuck, we are going to be having a grant writing group, a working group tonight at 6 o'clock. So we'll put the link to that in. It's $25, but it's a really intimate group that really goes through each question and then helps you kind of walk through how to answer it. So as you're going through it, and I put the link into the chat as well, if you feel stuck, definitely join us at 6 and we're going to go a bit slower and walk through each section. But as a high level, it's a grant for $10,000. I mentioned they're giving out 50. So hopefully they renew it. They've been doing it each year. The previous 2 years, it was 100 that they were selecting. So hopefully later in 2024, they'll be selecting another 50. Maybe they didn't want to do it all at once like before. But right now, there's 500,000 in grants that they're giving, 50 at 10,000 each. As mentioned, it's due December 13th, which is today in the evening. And what you get with the $10,000 is a 12-week curated mentorship and training program that's delivered through the DMZ. So now you also get connected in with their network and evergreen learning system, like a library of the content so that you can resource and support your business. So the timelines to keep watch on is due today at 11:59 Eastern. So that would be close just before midnight. You would be notified by December the 19th. So in about a week's time, if you were successful. And then the mentorship program starts January the 16th and would go until March the 28th. And the funds would be dispersed about February the 15th. So mid-February, you would be seeing the $10,000 dispersed to you. So the eligibility to keep an eye on, you do have to identify as a member of the Black, Indigenous, or people of color community. You do have to be a Canadian citizen or have valid authorization for immigration or refugee protection. You do need to be the founder, owner, or senior position at the company. You can't have more than $500,000 in revenue over the past year. And you do have to be active in the Canadian market and be in the Canadian market. So you do have to have your business operating in Canada. It can do international business, but the business has to be like headquartered in Canada, and they say English or French, and you couldn't have gotten the grant before. So I'll jump in just so you get an idea of the questions that they're asking you. But as I mentioned, at 6 o'clock tonight, we're going to go a bit deeper. So they're asking for your contact info, if you're a resident, what you identify as your heritage, company information. They do want to see that 50% is owned by the person that's Black or Indigenous or person of color. I mean, they ask if you're brick or mortar. They ask if you're headquartered in Canada, if you're federally or provincially incorporated, and your incorporation number. They do ask, let's see, year of incorporation, type of business, your social media, and are you active in the Canadian market, as I mentioned? And then, are you in the company full-time, or at least one of the co-founders operating it full-time? So they do ask for your past funding success. So if you've raised money or have bank loans, you can add them there. And how you heard about us. So, hey, your association, you can say Empowered Forex is how I heard about it. And then they want you to pitch your company, so in 100 words. And remember, as you're going through these questions, be sure to copy the question and then put it into a Google document so that you can answer the questions in that Google document and then transfer them back. Because if you're working on it and you get stuck and don't complete it, if you leave the page, or I think if you leave it for too long, it'll reset and then you'll lose all of your answers. So there's no way to save as you go. So don't only write in here, put it into a Google document. And then that would become kind of the start of that blueprint that I was talking about earlier, so that you've been able to answer questions that a lot of the grants are going to ask you for, and you have it somewhere that you can reference and then keep improving on it. They do ask for your bio, so definitely brag about yourself in this section. You want to know total revenue to date and your current revenue stream, so the different ways that the business makes money, major accomplishments, different hurdles and challenges that you've been facing, how you've pushed through them or addressed them, outlining your competitors. And now this section is really important because they want to see, by going through the 12-week program, what goals do you have and what milestones. So goals for the program or areas of interest that you want to learn about, and when do you actually want to learn it by. So it's going to be between January and March. So you'd select milestones for yourself. What your revenue plan is. So how are you going to acquire customers? They want to know what funding goals you have. So beyond just the 10,000, is there other monies that you need in order to operate your business in an optimal way? You can mention it here. And then the revenue goals. So you talk up here about what the plan is to get customers. And if you're able to get those customers, what does that look like in dollars and cents as a goal for the year? And then goals for your team. So if you want to upskill them or build more of a team, and when do you want to do that by? The two final questions would be, what are you hoping to gain from the program? And again, you pretty much answered it here. So it's really taking those bullet pointed answers and turning it into a paragraph answer. And then if selected, how would the 10,000 help? Again, you've answered a little bit of it here, but now you're putting it into a paragraph form. So beyond that, that is the extent of the American Express grant. You would hit submit and we would wish you luck. So let's see. We haven't seen any much other grants that are currently available. So we'll keep going. Oh, did I go through? All right. And something to keep eye on, the Social Finance Fund has started to create their process for getting the money out. So you may have heard on previous sessions, we talk about the Social Finance Fund, which is about $800 million that is going to be invested into social enterprises. Now, the initial grant program was the Investment Readiness Program. So that had 2 cycles, and there's work on a 3rd cycle. So if that grant does come online, we'll definitely keep you in the loop. The next phase is the investment portion. So the grant was supposed to help social enterprises get ready to take on investment. And now the investment portion is supposed to start in the new year. So if you are looking to grow your social enterprise, definitely keep a lookout for, as those criteria come out, we will keep you in the loop so that you're ready. And specific grants for nonprofits, always look at the Ontario Trillium Foundation. They have their great grants that go on cycles. So on their website, they will show the different deadlines and when other grants are coming online. And the Ontario Grant Portal, at any given time, there's usually 20 to 25 grants that are open. They vary quite broad. So I would always say, when you get the slide deck, check out this link. See, hold on. I need to go back to the top. Oh, is it loading? All right. So you'll see the different types of grant programs that they have. So this is where it's really good to check in, see if you can execute on any of these types of grants, and then go through that process of now applying. If you've signed up for the Ontario Raise grant that was due last week, you'll notice you have to create an Ontario transfer payment login. So it's using that same login to now apply for other grants. So anything that you see here that you might qualify for, I would look into it, and it gives a good description on what to expect. Oh, and let me just get to the next section. And of course, I talk a lot about grants, but loans are a viable and something that should be leveraged as well, especially depending on what stage your business is in. A lot of times, loans might be a better choice only because grants have a long cycle, a long sales cycle, where it might take 3 to 6 months from applying for a grant to getting the money. It's not something you can really rely on, and those grants you might not be successful with the initial grant application. So if you're looking for specific money to either get inventory or improve your marketing, looking at these types of microloans might be a good option. And they range between loans that are better for poor credit scores, like the ACBN microloan or Access Community Capital Fund or Rise Asset Development. If you have stronger credit score, I would go after the FACE Coalition or Futurepreneur or Alterna or BDC. And also Meridian has their new accelerated loan program as well. And then the Black focused entrepreneur programs through the banks like RBC, CIBC, BMO, TD, and Scotiabank all have their own loan programs. So don't discount loans. Just totally, I would say they do serve a purpose at specific times and places that your business is in. But of course, we are here to see you win. So if you do need additional support navigating the funding landscape or seeing like what's the best option for you, do touch base with us. Our services range between more go at your own pace with our Grant Hunter University. So building out that grant blueprint, and we have all those lessons online and you can go through at your own pace. Or we can do the heavy lifting for you with creating that funding summary, creating a funding strategy, and even writing the grants. And so researching, writing, and taking that whole fund research and grant team off your shoulders so that it gets done and our team can become your team. So if you have your phone, you can definitely scan this QR code to book a time to meet. Or let me see if I can just grab this link and put it into the chat. Let me know if that works. Actually, let's click it. Let's see where it takes us. because this link, if you wanted to sign up and have a conversation about your current situation and the funding, let's see. The link should take you to the form. And if it does not, I have to put in a different link. Okay, yes. So the form is here. I can even just put this form link in the chat. So this form, again, if you want to have a conversation about the funding that you need, if grants might be a good fit, and if you might need support with it, feel free to fill this out and we will book a meeting with you. And yeah, again, if you want to just check out the website, I'll put this link, put these into the chat as well. If you know anybody else that could use this information and wasn't able to make it today, definitely have them sign up for our next grant write or grant info session. But I'll pause here and open it up for questions. And again, thank you for your patience and thank you for your attention. All right. Oh, sorry. One last thing. We are having a grant challenge, like a grant writing challenge. So next week, if you want support with writing and creating that blueprint, and it'll be less expensive than the Grant Hunter University. I believe it's only $150, and we'll work with you for 5 days. Tristy, do you have that link to be able to put in? Because that link will be able to work with you for the
grant
week.
writing?
Yeah, so the grant writing challenge, or we'll email it to you so that you have it.
Yes.
All right. But yes, if there's any specific questions, feel free. You can either unmute or you can put up, raise your hand, and then yes, and anyone that does want to touch base and have a conversation, feel free. The form is in the chat. So once you fill out the form, then that triggers a phone call with our team. All right. So I don't see if anybody has their hand up. Sorry, I'm not able to see it. But yes, I'll pause again just to see if there's any additional questions. Awesome, awesome. Okay, if there's no additional questions, I am happy to give you 5 minutes back to your afternoon. And we are going to send out the recording and the slide deck. So if you have any additional questions as you're going through it and you get stuck, definitely let us know and we will help you get through. Other than that, have a great rest of the afternoon and good to see everyone. Bye now.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, later.
Bye-bye. Before starting, let's get over some Zoom etiquette. Change your name, turn on your cameras so we can meet face to face and we want to see you. If you have any questions, then you can raise your hands or click on the reaction and raise your hands if you have any questions. Be respectful to everyone. Use kind words or actions. Use the chat box. Do not hesitate to ask a question. If you have some question, if you have good, bad, any questions, we are welcoming. Mute your mic, avoid interruption, and only unmute yourself when speaking. Empowered for X would like to acknowledge the lens we are working on. We will just take a minute to read this slide. A little bit about Empowered for X is in business consulting firm. We support all entrepreneurs by providing co-working space and business services, membership, as well as the training and consulting. We can help you with the business planning, operations, financial projections, bookkeeping, rent writing, marketing strategies, and we have various offerings depends on where you are in your journey from ideation to scaling up. We offer many different training programs that can help you level up your businesses. Social Enterprise Challenge, Social Enterprise Certification Program, Mental Health Standard Certification, Mental Health Supporting Youth Certification, and Grant Hunter University. We offer many different services for the startups to establish the business. We have virtual offices in Brampton, Ottawa, and Scarborough. We do have a consulting services, marketing, grant writing, technology, management, and plannings, and we do a BizScrum live shows. We are having an upcoming events, grant writing info sessions, working groups, DIY to modify CVs like sales, marketing, growth, and strategies. We do monthly Jelly social networking events, and we do have an social enterprise and grow your nonprofit challenge, which actually passed, but we do have here, and we might be coming up. So whenever we will be, we will let you know. And we do have an tax planning and complex compliances info session coming up. So you can join with us on 7 December for that. You can use this barcode to register for the session. We do, and we have an upcoming, we do have an grant writing services where we basically provide a service for the social enterprise and nonprofit organization. We specialize in helping organizations to effectively research and apply for the grant, focusing on obtaining the grants and becoming an extension of CEO or an executive director team. About our grant writing, we do DIY free sessions, funding summaries, blueprints, reviews, paid sessions, working groups, and modify grant writer. We do it for you. Today's agenda is to meet the facilitator, overview of the grant, and how we can help you. Today's facilitator is Ryan Knight, a serial social entrepreneur, detailing Knight, Service Kingdom, Executive Power Up, Black Panther Cage, and co-founder of Afro-Caribbean Business Network. These are his businesses. And he's also an E4X business crew, currently helping the businesses and increasing the capacities and creating an asset for a growing generational wealth. I'll let Ryan, you can take over from here. Floor is all yours.
All right, sounds good. Let me just start from there. Oh, wait.
I'll just stop.
Sounds good, sounds good. And thank you for the introduction. Let me just present my screen. I know my computer seems to be going slow, so let me know if it gets like held up or anything. One thing that I'd like to mention, that I am one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And over the past 5 years, we've been able to engage with over 5,000 Black entrepreneurs. We're finding about 70% of them, or over 70%, are female entrepreneurs. And in our database, about 91% of them are the business owner, the founder, or the CEO, the current CEO. But what we're most proud of is our partnerships and being able to partner with over 40 Black-focused business organizations across Canada. So no matter what stage your business is in, we're able to connect you to the right supports to make sure that your business is able to grow. I talk a lot about entrepreneurship. I feel it's one of the best tools that we can use to empower the community. And especially when we're talking about economic empowerment, entrepreneurship is a tool that you can really start with minimal investment and have unlimited potential. And even if you're running a nonprofit, having a social enterprise where you have that income generating or revenue generating activity to support the nonprofit work allows you to be a lot more sustainable. We talk about convening, and when we do our in-person sessions, like we have one tomorrow talking about funding in Whitby. Next week, we're going to be in person at the Brampton office, but really sharing notes, and even if it's virtual like this, being able to share the resources that we know, the information that we know, so that you can use it for your businesses so that it can grow. But why we're here today is that access to funding. We at ACBN have developed our own microloan program. So if you did need a loan for your business, we can do up to $15,000, and we're connected into other loan programs like the Black Opportunity Fund or the FACE Coalition, so we can connect you to that kind of funding as well. Today is more, and always want to say thank you to our partners, ranging from Alterna Savings, who we created the microloan program with, SETC, which is the social economy through social inclusion, really keeping us connected to social finance and a lot of the government funding programs that will be able to support our social enterprises. Sheridan and their EDGE program, the Entrepreneurship Discovery and Growth Engine, making sure that we're connecting our community to the great resources that are at the college, at Sheridan College, and it's done through EDGE. So if you're not sure what EDGE is, would love to connect you so that you can tap into the resources that they have. And they're going to be doing a lot more over the next couple of years. So want to make sure that we don't miss it. Calabash, which is a cooperative of expert service providers in our communities. So if you do need accountants, consultants, different supports to grow your business, definitely check out Calabash. And always don't want to forget the Toronto Community Benefits Network, who has been a supporter of ours since the beginning. Shout out to Rosemary Powell, but other supporters like ZSC that helps with our business advisory, One Full Circle, which is like our mirror organization in Montreal and Quebec, and Dream Legacy Foundation. If you do have a tech business, they have a great program with Ryerson and the DMZ to be able to support Black tech founders. So definitely check that out. All right, so we like to put up this slide to show the breadth of funding that is out there. And these are different programs that we've been able to access. And it ranges from as low as $500 all the way up to over $1 million. I think the top one is 1.3 million, and different places that we've gotten funding from, whether it be pitch competitions, it can be from the city, the province, federal grants, or sponsorship and donations from corporations. I like to say we want to tackle all types of funding that we qualify for. So when we talk about grant writing, and again, I don't consider myself an academic grant writer, but I do consider myself a grant hunter. So looking at all the different types of funding that's out there and anything that we qualify for, making sure to get that application in. And that's why, besides us getting funding, I love being able to help others get funding as well, whether it be nonprofits like Rescue Youth International or New Life Project, who a lot of times they're doing great work in their communities, yet they don't have the bandwidth to be sitting and researching what grants are out there, writing and following up and reapplying. So we're able to become their team to do the research, find out what grants are out there, and then do the writing and get that done for them. So, and then on the other side, like with for-profit companies like Custodia, identifying that they are operating a social enterprise and then being able to plug them into funding that exists. So all that to say, if you feel stuck trying to find funding, or if you feel stuck after you find funding and just not getting the applications in, we are definitely here to support you with that. Oh, and here are a couple other examples. Youth Village being able to, as they were starting their organization, working with us so that they can get access to funding, so they're not starting from scratch and also a church that we were able to trustee to help them get access to funding to renovate their location. So a couple of ways that we help entrepreneurs and organizations get prepared. Of course, if you're looking for loans, that's typically when you need the business plan blueprint. So if you need help with your business plan, you can connect with us and we'll help with that. But the grant writing blueprint is what I wanted to talk about today, because a lot of times we find multiple grants over the years, and every time we find a grant, we're starting from scratch. So what we found, and even when I was running detailing nights, the first couple grants that I went after, and being a for-profit company, you realize that you keep getting declined until I was able to connect with a grant writer and also partner with a nonprofit organization that started to unlock more of the grants. And those successful grants became the blueprint. So what we help you do is create your own blueprint and asking those initial questions that 80% of grants are going to ask you, so that the answers are done, and then we can customize it for whatever grant that we find. So having that blueprint done really reduces the effort that it takes to apply for grants. So that way you can be applying for more and increase your chances of getting that funding that you need. If we keep starting from scratch, a lot of times we get stuck and then we don't get the application in, and then it's an automatic decline if we don't submit. So one thing I did want to share with you is this platform, the Business Benefits Finder. And I'll put the link. Oh, I think this link might still be broken. Let me see. If it doesn't take me to the right place, I will put the right one into the chat. Let's see. Oh, wait, was it working? I think it was working. Or is it not working? No, it wasn't working. So this link that I'm gonna put into the chat for you, it supports with finding what types of government grants are out there. So let me grab this. Oh, and they changed their website. Let me see. This is not the right one. This is the right one. So it's kind of like fill in the blanks. So whatever your business or your nonprofit does, you would fill out the questions just by answering like the blank sections of the it's the magic tool. So let me grab this link. So if you did want to follow along, I'll put it into the chats. All right, and you'll see, so I'll go through it really quickly. So let's say we're looking for grants. Okay. Let's see, we're looking for up to 250,000. We want to start, grow, hire people. Good. And then tell them where we are. So from Ontario, Southern. Oh, something went in. We focus on education. Let's see, we have 4 employees. Doing revenue just under 500. We're incorporated. Let's see, I'll put it for the nonprofit and see what it comes up with. We have Canadians, Black Canadians, women, LGBTQ, and under 40. So you always want to see all the programs, even if they're not accepting, just so that you have an idea of what is out there that you can apply for later. But you'll see. All right, so it'll take the information and then give you a breakdown of different funding that is available. So if you click on more, we'll see, let's see. So I know there's always a few training grants, electricity, if you're in the automotive sector, if you're for-profit, nonprofit organizations in New York. Let's see. Grants for economic development. I know this one, I think, is for organizations that do economic development training. Let's see if there's any specific ones available right now for businesses. I don't see any. If you're doing international business, it's a grant. If you want to do tree planting. So again, you can check here for loans, tax credits, different wage subsidies, but there's also another platform that we've started to use, and that is called Happly. I'll put it into the chat as well. So the first platform is focused on the federal government in Canada. Happly, I believe, is North America. But actually, let me sign in and see if it's only Canada. And for Happly, the user experience is a lot. Actually, the government one, I would give them credit. It's not terrible. The Happly one, they are trying to refine it. So as you're searching for grants and different supports, it's a bit easier to go through. But let me see. If I remember my password here. So when you create your account with Happly, it'll now show you the different types of funding. And again, it looks like a big number, but you do have to kind of dig in to make sure that the funding that you're looking for is a match for what you want to do. So let's see what we can find right now. So Talent Opportunities Program, what I like, it does give a rating of how difficult the application process is. So for this one, you're gonna have to spend some time. Let's see. This one, I believe, is through the Canada Digital Adoption Program. So the Ontario Chamber of Commerce has it. So if you're looking for help with digital marketing, you can go to this one. And let's see. The the Canada Ontario Job Grant is really good if you're hiring, because you can now hire somebody or onboard them, put them through training so that they're actually able to execute for your business, and you can get a grant for that training that they went through. And then if they go through the training and you realize that they're not a fit, then you don't have to hire them because they're not a good fit. But them going through the training usually makes them more prepared to be in your business. So if you're looking for that next best hire, hiring them through the Canada Ontario Job Grant is a good option. Let's see, Summer Company, again, letting our youth know that while they're in school up to age 29, they can be getting $3,000 for their business so that they can test if entrepreneurship is a good fit for them. So there's always, there's 10 pages. So Happly, I'll say this is your homework for tonight. Make your account, see if any of these grant programs are a good fit. And then if you do find one that is a good fit and you get stuck, that's where let us know so that we can work with you to go through it and get your application in. Because a lot of times, I bet you, yeah, these ones should probably be more than moderate. The federal ones are really intense, but those ones are more for organizations. And this one specific to Bruce County. So when you're filling out your your profile, if you do stipulate that you're in Canada, you're gonna see Canadian results. Check to see if you are in the US and you put in your US address, if it gives you US results. So these are two platforms that I typically always walk my clients through to say, okay, let's find at least 3 to 5 grants that we can go after in here, and then helping them get those applications done so that you're not stuck with, and if it's a quick one, like some of them, like with Ripen, I'll pull up Ripen, because this one, again, if you're looking for a grant to help bring on a team member, Ripen is really good. Yes, Level Up. So I'll put this link into the chat as well. The tricky thing with Ripen is that you create a project for your company or for your organization on what you want to see executed. So that could be like a marketing strategy, or people to do a market research, or a data analytics. But then when you post your project, students get to see it and then select if they want to work on your project. So if they do pick your project, then you're able to get them for, I believe, oh my gosh, 60 hours. Let me see if it shows. So for employers, actually, I think it's 80 hours. Yes, 80 hours. So they work on your project for 80 hours, and then the Ripen program pays them. So you don't have to come out of pocket to pay them for the work. So definitely check out this one if you're looking for additional support or additional staff. And let me get to the next section. Done. Oh. All right, so we'll jump into the Black Opportunity Fund. They have a loan grant program in partnership with CIBC. So CIBC, let me see if I still have this open. No, I don't. So CIBC created a loan program where you can get up to $250,000 for your business. And if you're not quite ready with, like, you don't have your business plan, or you don't have your cash flow projections done, or you need to increase your credit score, they were able to partner with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. So you can go through programming to improve those things, so you can improve your business plan and get your cash flow projections done. Then as you're finishing those milestones, you can get grants for your business. So you can get up to $2,000 depending on which program you go through. And then when that's done, you would have a strong enough business plan, cash flow projections to be able to apply for the loan program. But if you didn't want to apply for the loan program, you can still go through the Chamber of Commerce and go through the programming to get the grant. And this link is broken, but I'll put it in the site just for now. Yeah, so if you just want to apply directly, let me see, Black Chamber. So you should be able to sign up for their Elevate Black Business. So this accelerator program, or the business plan writing program. So if you go through these, you're able to access the grant that the Black Opportunity Fund and CIBC had created. And I believe CIBC had put forward about $2 million into this grant program, and it's not all spent. So definitely take some time to check out these programs, reach out to the chamber, get into it so that you can access those grants for your business as you're working on your business plan or your cash flow projections at the same time. Now, if you didn't want to have to do it yourself, okay, you can tap into this grant. So this one is called BAIDS. So it's done through the BBPA, the Black Business and Professionals Association. So BAIDS, which stands for the Business Advisory and Implementation Development Services, allows you to get connected with an expert service provider so that they would do services for you and then you don't have to come out of pocket. So the service provider invoices the BBPA to get paid. So if you need to get your business plan done, you can actually go through this grant program to get it done. If you needed help with registering or doing your financials or doing your taxes, you'd be able to get that support as well. And so I'll put this link into the chat just in case I usually give this for homework as well. So if you have not signed up for BAIDS already, I would definitely take time, get into the queue, because this is one of the best grant programs that I've seen. So it's definitely oversubscribed. I think they even show that at the bottom, it's like over 800 applications received, and they've gotten through about 330. So it's going to take them a bit of time. I know they had at least 5 million to give out, so they're at about 2 million. So it would be good to get in the queue. And what I say is just follow up with them. So after a week or so, if you haven't heard anything, send them a note saying, hey, I'm checking in on my status with the my BAIDS application. And as you touch base, they're able to make sure and get back to you. So this is your second homework. I would say at the end of today, you should, because the application is quite straightforward. I'll just show you really quickly. It's asking for, I'll say, your contact info, a bit of the story of your business, and then also, what else is it asking for? Yeah, it asks for, let's see, how you're registered, how long you've been around, employees, principal activities, and the story of your business. And I would say if you don't have the principal activities of your business written down somewhere, after you answer this question, save it into a Google Doc or a Word document or Google Keep or Evernote, so that anytime you're going to go after grants or loans, these are typically the initial questions that they're going to be asked. So you want to have it saved so you're not starting from scratch trying to remember. And again, it's all in your head, like you know it, what your business does, but when you have to write it, then starting from scratch can be a block. So you want to have it saved somewhere. And again, the story of your business, you want to have that saved somewhere as well, so that you can always be adding to it and you have it ready for when these applications ask you for it. And you'll see these are the 3 services that you can choose from. So you can get accounting and bookkeeping done, you can get your business planning and budgeting done, or you can get legal support for your business. And because the application is quite straightforward, like I said, this is your homework for later today to get it done. So I put the link into the chat, the BAIDS program from the BBPA. All right, so I did want to touch on Digital Main Street. If you have not already created an account for Digital Main Street, they have a few grant programs. So they have the RAISE program, which is the Racialized and Indigenous, Racialized and Indigenous support for entrepreneurs. You can get up to $10,000 for your business to help with digital marketing and amplifying kind of the outreach and the operations of your business. The Canada Digital Adoption Program allows you to get $2,400, again, specific for digital marketing support. And their Ontario grants, which is closed right now, but you used to be able to get $2,500 to support, again, that online marketing. So you'd create a digital transformation plan for your business, which would include how you're going to market yourself online. They would have certain videos that you would watch that give you ideas on how to amplify your online marketing. And then you create a plan for yourself and you get $2,500. And the last one is the Shop Here program, where you can get help to build an e-commerce store. So they partner you with an expert service provider that now understands what you want to get done to sell online. So if you already have a website, but you're not selling online, they'll help you build something like a Shopify store. So you can either integrate it into your current website, or if you don't have a website, you can use Shopify as your website and they'll help you build it. You get a discount, I believe for the first 90 days, it's free, and then a discounted rate ongoing. So if you do want to, even if you have an online e-commerce store already and just want it to be improved, you can actually go through this grant and get it improved. So I'll put this link into the chat as well. And like, your homework would be at minimum to create your account. And I'll create your account because you do want to follow up with them. The RAISE program, which is the $10,000 grant, it's not open just yet, but it will be opening soon. So when you create an account, then you'll be on their mailing list. So you'll hear when that it's not new, it's actually being rebooted. And it's one of the better grants that I've seen that they had, where you can get 10,000 and be able to use it to build up your business. So make sure you have an account so that you're on their newsletter. And of course, once we hear, we're going to send out a notice as well. But the RAISE $10,000 grant is going to be opening back pretty shortly. All right. So another grant that had closed but is now opened back. I think I already have it open. So the Desjardins GoodSpark program. So the GoodSpark one, they do ask some eligibility questions, but they're giving out a total of $3 million, but it is across Canada. So because it's across Canada, it's going to be quite competitive. So you definitely want to make sure you get your application in. That's a minimum. And we're going to be doing working groups to support those that want support, that want help with writing their grant. So with our working groups, there's a small charge, usually it's like $20, $25. We come back as a group to work on one grant. So we're going to be doing one for the Desjardins GoodSpark grant. It's due by December 3rd. So expect to get the information on this within a couple weeks so that we can come back together, go through every single question. Typically, you're like looking over my shoulder as I'm answering the questions for my business. And then when you have questions for your business, we can answer them right away. So look out for the invitation to the working group. But this one, hold on, these are eligibility questions. I wanted to see if they'll give the overview of the actual program. Let me see. Oh, actually, let me go back. I think each year they change just a little bit about it. And we are in Ontario. Let's see. Oh, I think this page is talking about the fund in general. So they have a $250 million fund that they're going to be investing in projects in communities. Where is, oh, this seems different. I mean, if you're a nonprofit, you should definitely touch base with Desjardins about their GoodSpark fund. Because this looks like you can apply for projects. Okay. And then let's see, the business will take us there. No. Let's go back out. For the specific GoodSpark grant for business is, I believe it's 20,000 that you can get. Those are posts about it. Okay, let's go back in. Yeah, it's taking us, oh, wait a minute, here we go. All right, so I'll put this link into the chat so that you can check it out. So the first link that I put up from Desjardins is their actual GoodSpark fund. So that fund, what do they do? So they're investing in projects and they have about 250 million to invest. The Good Spark grant for business is a section of that where you can get, so they're going to be giving out 150 grants of $20,000 each. And you'll see, you do have to be Canadian owned, headquartered in one of these provinces. You do need 1 employee and registered for at least a year. And your project has to tackle one of these areas. So sustainable development, I guess that's talking about social enterprises, health and well-being, innovation, and community impact. And you can check out the full rules there. And they give a bit of a breakdown for each of those 4 projects there, and you'll be able to apply. So if this is a grant that interests you, stay tuned for the working group that we're going to do, because we'll go question by question through each of the questions to make sure that you get this application in. We have until December 3rd, so that is a good amount of time, but we don't want to leave things to the last minute. All right. So one other grant that comes up for businesses is the Toronto Enterprise Center Starter Company Grant. And this one, so it's actually Starter Company Plus grant. So you can get up to $5,000 for your business. This stream is going to be for female founders. So I know they're doing, they did a webinar on the 3rd. Hopefully they have a recording of it, but you can subscribe to their newsletter. So I'll put this link into the chat for you. If you wanted to go to this page, subscribe to their newsletter. But if you're a female founder, you're in Toronto, I would definitely sign up for this grant. And the general business stream. So in November, they're doing the female stream, and the application should open shortly. And then, so twice a year, they do onboarding. And the other time, so in the new year, they're going to do the general business stream. But similar, you can get the $5,000. You would go through a training curriculum that they have. Before, it used to be in person. They might be shifting back to in person. They did shift to online for a while. And you get 6 months of advisory services after the program. So you go through the program, you apply for the $5,000. When you get the $5,000, then you get additional 6 months of business coaching. So be sure to check out this one as well. All right. So we did want to shift from for-profit business opportunities to also nonprofit grant opportunities. Let me go to the next section. Oh, we present. That'll help. Okay, and I did this Propel Black Business one is part of the Elevate Black Business. So if you go to the Black Chamber of Commerce link that I put into the chat, the Propel one is there. All right, so one thing that we talk about a lot here with Empowered Forex is social enterprise. And funding for social enterprise used to have a few more grant components. So the investment readiness program was available. That was a grant program up to $100,000. They're working on part 3. They've done 2 cycles of it. So I'm hearing rumblings that part 3 is in the works. So we'll keep you in the loop as that grant comes out as well. And also there was the Toronto Enterprise Fund, who works with social enterprise that have an employment focus. So they call them employment social enterprises. That is on pause. It's part of the United Way. So you're going to see if United Way reboots that one. The next phase is the Social Finance Fund, which is actual investments into social enterprises. So they won't be grants per se. There'll be more loan products or equity products, but there will be additional investments for social enterprises So we'll keep you on the loop as that comes out. And for nonprofits, we typically say to keep an eye on the Ontario government at any time has about 20 to 30 grant programs. So if I go to this link, you'll see there's a wide array of things that the government gives grants for. So if you see, oh, let me go back to the top. So if you see a focus area from the province that your company or your nonprofit can execute, you do want to make sure and create an account. They have something called Transfer Payment Ontario. It is a bit tedious and clunky to work with. So if you get stuck anywhere, please let us know. But if you see any of these areas of focus that you could tackle, read through it, see if it's something you qualify for. A lot of times, if you're a for-profit, it takes you partnering with a nonprofit. And if you're a nonprofit, then you'd be open to applying for any of these grants. The other one that I would keep an eye on is the Ontario Trillium Foundation. So their grant programs cycle throughout the year. They just closed off their Youth Opportunities Fund cycle. So that's going to open back in April, but they also have other grants. All right, so let me see if this application deadline, because they have community investment grants, the Youth Opportunities Fund. So let's see if there's anything upcoming. All right, so their capital grant is going to be coming due March the 6th. They have their seed grant. That's going to be next year, June. The Grow grant in November. So the calendar for 2024 looks like this. So again, these grants are typically quite complex. So you do want to actually get started on them now, or at least by January, to start putting the pieces together, having conversations with the funder about your program. So if you're going for the capital grant, having a conversation with them to see if you're on the right track, if it qualifies for what they want to fund. So same with seed and grow. Throughout the year, you want to be working on it. So resilient communities, that did close. It doesn't look like they have 2024 dates just yet. And for the Youth Opportunities Fund, they are going to open their Systems Innovation Grant on December the 4th. So keep an eye out for that. And that's if you really want to do systems change. They do look for collaborations in those grants. So if you're not partnered with any other organizations, I would start looking at what other organizations share a similar mission to what you want to execute, and then look for that so that you can apply for the Youth Opportunities Fund. And then this, one sec. All right, so let's see where we're at. Again, I do always like to touch on the different loan programs that are out there. I know grants are great because you don't have to pay them back, but the timelines for grants are typically very difficult to work with. A lot of times it takes 3 to 6 months to find out if you even got a grant, if you're approved. So you're waiting all that time, and sometimes it's still not guaranteed. So loan programs are typically easier to navigate. You usually get funding less than a month, and you can also use grants later to stack on. So still apply for grants, but if you need to get things done for your business right away, loan programs are great to go after, and make sure you have a strong plan to use that money to boost your sales so that the increase in sales covers the loan cost. And then as those grant decisions come in, anything that comes in would be bonus. So that ranges from ACBN, we have our microloan program. There's the Access Community Capital Fund that does up to 10,000. Rise Asset Development does up to 10,000. The FACE Coalition, which does up to 250,000. Futurepreneur for those under 40 goes up to 60,000. So Alterna, RBC, CIBC, Bank of Montreal, Scotia Bank, I have to add in there, and TD, they now have Black entrepreneurship loan programs. So if you're looking at going after a loan program, I typically say reach out to all of them. It's depending on how much money you need, and then figure out which one is going to get you to the finish line first. So don't make all of them do credit checks and the full 9, but reach out to their representative, have that initial conversation. Most of these programs, they're looking at your credit score being at least 600. I think ACBN and Access Community Capital Fund are the only 2, and Rise Asset Development, that if your credit score is under 600, you're not like automatically declined. And I know Meridian Credit Union is also working on, they call it a business accelerator loan. So we'll get more information about that and be able to see if you qualify. But again, it does go by credit score. So if you do have minimum 600, I would reach out to each of these and see what's the process to get access to their funding. All right. And of course, as we're winding down, always want to just remind you that we exist to see you win. So please reach out to us if you feel stuck anywhere, if any of these grant programs are of interest and you're not sure how to navigate. That's why we're here. We have different services that we offer. There's the self-study, our online course, the Grant Hunter University. We have funding strategy sessions that we can do with you, or just do a deep dive into what funds are out there that are specific to your business. And if you just want to take it all off your plate and have us become that grant team for you, we do have that grant application writing. So we would do the research to see what is available, and then we would do the writing for you and help you get it submitted. All right. So if you did want to have a conversation, you can feel free to scan the QR code, or Shristi, if you can put the link into the chat. Actually, let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, I can put the link. It's not a problem.
All right, let me see if this works.
Okay.
I think this link will take it there, but or you could put the cleaner one. So feel free to fill out the grant writing intake form for support, and then we'll reach out to you so that we can support you on your journey. And also feel free to email us or give us a call. Again, if you have questions, I'm here now. We're going to be here for a bit, so feel free to ask now. But as questions come up or you want to have a more one-to-one conversation, our contact info is there in the chat. All right, so let me pause there, and then we'll see if there's any questions for us today. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. I know y'all have stuff to do and are busy, so it's not lost on us you taking the time to hear about the resources and funding that's out there. But if you did have a question, you can feel free to put it in the chat, or you can unmute. Otherwise, we can give a bit of your afternoon back. Arminde, yes, you can go ahead.
Hi. So I want to ask about the grant writing service. Is your service fee, your mode of working published anywhere? Where can I find that? And also, do you do industry specific? So in my case, I am in the food processing / ag space. And I have also noticed that advocacy is essential when it comes to some of these grant programs. So would you have that, or do you offer that as well, particularly for my industry?
Yeah, we find that especially in that industry, the grants are going to be very government specific, like federal grants, sometimes provincial grants.
Yeah.
So we do have expertise on staff that deals more with federal grants. So we'd be able to connect you with them to navigate that space. The other question was, yeah, the pricing is depending on how complex the grant is. So it can be as low as 500, even up to 5,000, depending if it's like a complex federal grant or a more straightforward one.
Okay, thank you. I would reach out for that, but I think there's an Ontario one I'm exploring.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'd love to support you with that. All right, awesome. Just checking to see, is there any additional questions? Otherwise, yes, we really appreciate you being here and have a good rest of the afternoon.